It's midnight and you're tuning into Nightline with me, Natasha Busst. News making the headlines. Malaysia recognized as new partners in BRICS bloc. And Najib issues public apology over 1MDB scandal ahead of verdict. Malaysia has been recognized as one of 13 nations officially added to BRICS as a partner country, a bloc that collectively accounts for 1/5 of global trade. The bloc officially added 13 new nations to the alliance as partner countries, though not yet as full members. Apart from Malaysia, the other 12 nations were Algeria, Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Nigeria, Thailand, Turkey, Uganda, Uzbekistan and Vietnam. On July 28th, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim confirmed that Malaysia had submitted an application to Russia to join the BRICS Intergovernmental Organization. Russia currently chairs the bloc, which represents about 40% of the global population and accounts for a cumulative gross domestic product, GDP, of $26.6 trillion or 26.2% of the world's GDP. Malaysia's participation in the largest and most influential geopolitical grouping, BRICS, will help the nation further diversify its trade and investment. The chief economist of Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad, Dr. Muhammad Afzal Nizam Abdul Rashid, said it is also expected to enhance the nation's access to broader markets.
It's a form of a recognition from the international community that Malaysia can actually bring an added value to the large economic bloc that has great potential in shaping the global trade and investments going forward, and perhaps will provide more access to businesses, access to investment, access to raw material that essentially will help the countries to spearhead its economic agenda to develop the country into the high income status at some point in the future.
Meanwhile, at the same meeting, India and China had agreed to work towards improving bilateral ties on Wednesday, signaling a potential thaw between the neighbors since clashes between their troops in 2020 over a contested border. China's President Xi Jinping told Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi that both countries should take on international responsibilities to serve as a model for developing countries to achieve unity and contribute to a multipolar world and the democratization of international relations. In regards to that, Modi said that mutual trust will guide ties with China, welcoming the consensus over the border contestations. Xi and Modi held their first formal meeting in 5 years at the gathering, having only met briefly at other international summits since their last face-to-face talks in October 2019. Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak apologized to Malaysians over the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB financial scandal on Thursday, saying he is deeply shocked and regretful over what had happened at the Finance Ministry-owned company. Ahead of the High Court's decision next Wednesday on whether the former Prime Minister would be acquitted or have to defend himself against 25 charges over 1MDB's stolen 2.27 billion ringgit funds, Najib said he should not be made a victim or be held legally responsible over 1MDB. Najib's son, Datuk Muhammad Nizar Najib, read out a media statement in which the former finance minister claimed to be innocent and to not have worked together with Malaysian fugitive Low Tech Joe to defraud 1MDB of its money.
It pains me every day to know that the 1MDB debacle happened under my watch as Minister of Finance and Prime Minister. For that, I would like to apologize unreservedly to the Malaysian people. I have already been punished politically, but as I am clearly not the mastermind, and neither did I collaborate with Jolo, as recent events have shown, I should not be victimized legally too.
Najib said he had decided to make this statement after much reflection over the course of 26 months in prison and after what he described as significant recent developments regarding 1MDB. He referred to recent court proceedings in Switzerland, which convicted Petro-Saudi International Limited executives, as well as articles published by The Edge. According to Najib, the articles were based on an analysis of the case and internal emails from Petro-Saudi supporting his assertion that he was not involved in any plot to misappropriate funds from 1MDB. On October 30th, Najib will know if he has to continue facing his trial over 1MDB's 2.2 billion ringgit funds or if he will be acquitted and walk free of the 25 charges in the case. The Defense Ministry is expected to cancel the lease agreement for 4 UH-60A Black Hawk helicopters. Its Minister, Datuk Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin, said a final decision would be made if the contractors miss the October 30th delivery deadline, but alternative solutions are already being considered for the Army. He said this to the media after witnessing the Army's Panah Jago Exercise Series 2 at the Tanjung Logok Surface-to-Air Range. Khalid said the helicopters were intended as a temporary measure under a 5-year lease, not for permanent acquisition. On September 1st, MINDEF gave the supplier until the end of October to deliver the 4 helicopters, but as the deadline approaches, no delivery has been made. In August, the Attorney General's chambers had outlined options for the Black Hawks, including proposing termination of the lease contract. The MACC has revealed that fresh leads have emerged in its ongoing probe into the Selangor Menteri Besar Incorporated corruption scandal. Its Chief Commissioner, Tan Sri Azam Baki, hinted that the new findings suggest that shares acquired by certain individuals involved in the investigation may have been used for personal gain.
Keterangan-keterangan baru yang diperoleh, tapi buat masa ini saya tidak boleh kongsikan lagi. Berhubung dengan dapatan-dapatan baru ini, ada petunjuk-petunjuk baru yang menunjukkan saham-saham yang diperolehi oleh pihak-pihak yang terlibat dalam siasatan ini diperolehi untuk kegunaan sendiri dan sebagainya.
Azam said the details could not be disclosed as yet because the Commission is still conducting a thorough investigation, including gathering witness statements. He was speaking to the media on the sidelines of the basic course graduation ceremony for MACC officers. When asked about the possible arrest of an influential individual linked to the case, as mentioned earlier, Azam said investigators are still compiling evidence to determine if the testimonies implicate the individual in question. The Naga National Berhad, TNB, recorded more than 440 million ringgit in losses due to electricity theft since 2020. Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department Director Datuk Sri Muhammad Shuhaili Muhammad Zain on Thursday said the number of losses also showed a sharp increase over the years.
Tahun 2020 anggaran hampir 5.9 juta. Tahun 2021 140 juta, 2022 124 juta, tahun lepas 67 juta dan tahun ini sehingga bulan September sudah mencapai kepada 103 juta.
Shuhaili said the CID will study factors that contributed to the losses, particularly in 2022 and last year, noting that a majority of electricity theft cases were due to illegal Bitcoin mining. He added that police have conducted 2,091 successful raids on illegal Bitcoin mining from 2020 up until this year. Shuhaili was speaking to reporters after the handing over of 6 four-wheel drives, courtesy of TNB at Bukit Aman, adding that this was an extension of the operational success achieved in 2022 and 2023, and as a consolation for Bukit Aman JSJ Division D4 on its achievement. In Kedah, another suspect has been remanded in connection with a gold investment scam. The 62-year-old male suspect was remanded for 2 days to help the investigation under the Penal Code. A day earlier, Bukit Aman Commercial Crime Investigation Department Chief Datuk Sri Ramli Muhammad Yusof said that the police had arrested 5 people, including the prime suspect, in a raid in Kedah and Kuala Lumpur. All the suspects arrested last Monday and Tuesday were aged between 29 and 38. It was reported that over 100 individuals had been defrauded in the 100 million ringgit scheme, where gold was sold at below market prices over the past 2 months, resembling a pyramid scheme. Many investors were lured by enticing offers, with some even borrowing money from relatives, friends, and loan sharks. In Kedah, a male student from a public university has been remanded to assist in investigations into a cheating case involving several non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and members of the public. The 2-day remand order, which ends Friday, was issued by Magistrate Nurul Huda Idris at the Magistrates Court in Jitra on Thursday. A day earlier, a representative of an NGO from Pulau Pinang, Eng Hiap Boon, claimed that more than 20 NGOs nationwide had fallen victim to the 23-year-old student's fraud, but did not report it as he had threatened to commit suicide. The student allegedly solicited financial assistance from NGOs and individuals by fabricating stories like being threatened by loan sharks, needing medical assistance, and requiring funds to pay university tuition fees. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for cheating. In Selangor, a Nepalese man who was arrested for attempting to kidnap a 2-year-old boy in Rawang on Wednesday was remanded for 4 days to help facilitate in the probe. Sungai Buloh District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Hafiz Muhammad Noor said the court allowed the suspect to be remanded from Wednesday. Initial probe revealed that the suspect had a passport and a temporary work visit pass. Police are now trying to ascertain the motive of the incident, with the case being investigated under the Penal Code for kidnapping. The suspect was apprehended by the public after they sensed something was amiss. The child was playing in the living room of the house when the incident took place. Police on Thursday are on the hunt for a motorcyclist dressed like a food delivery rider who is suspected of snatching a woman's necklace at Taman University Indah in Sri Kembangan. Serdang District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner A.A. Ambalagan said that the incident occurred at 1 p.m. on Tuesday when the 37-year-old victim was standing on the shop sidewalk. The suspect, riding a blue Yamaha LC135 motorcycle, snatched the victim's pendant necklace worth 3,000 ringgit. The victim was not injured, and a video of the incident has since gone viral. Police are now actively identifying the suspect involved in this case, which is being investigated under Section 392 of the Penal Code. Japan rookie Saigo takes one-shot lead at the LPGAs. Sports when we return.
Sebuah program istimewa membantu penonton menyelesaikan pelbagai masalah yang dihadapi setiap minggu dengan bijak. Wow, janji berbaloi! Menampilkan pelbagai produk berkualiti keperluan terkini, pakej combo dan tawaran harga paling berbaloi dan eksklusif buat penonton. Jangan ketinggalan, saksikan siaran langsung di TV9. Wow, janji berbaloi! Wow!
Setiap kejayaan bermula dengan impian yang kecil.
Jadi tak salah kalau nak berangan.
Lapar, tapi tak ada selera nak makan.
Asam picit kerabu kerang sambal belacan, menu pembuka selera confirm tambah nasi.
Manusia tak ada siapa yang sempurna, apatah lagi dalam kehidupan berumah tangga.
Jadi jangan buka aib pasangan.
Passion menentukan identiti kita.
Menarik tu, nantikan hari Khamis.
Rezeki dalam rumah tangga.
Datang dalam pelbagai cara.
Semuanya di WSI TV3.
Dan stream sekarang, ditonton.
Wanita hari ini.
MHI sepanjang minggu. Analisis Belanjawan 2025, strategi memacu ekonomi rakyat dan negara. Nampak remeh tapi tidur yang cukup penting untuk tubuh kekal sihat. Kenali ikan pemusnah, ancaman kepada habitat dan ekosistem hidupan sungai. Saman malu atau fitnah, fahami undang-undang kes libel di mahkamah. Juga penstrukturan semula hutang peribadi dalam soal wang. MHI Isnin hingga Jumaat di TV3 dan ditonton.
Struggling with low energy or stress levels? Stay tuned as we reveal the secrets to better health and unlocking long-term vitality.
The mind comes first, the intention, and then everything else will fall through.
It's not short, it's very long, and it's not easy as well.
Yeah.
But if you have your why, you'll find your way.
Watch Women Talk every Saturday 5 p.m. only at TV3. Stream now on Tonton.
Sports golf, the 2024 Malaysia LPGA. Japan's Mao Saigo outshone a stellar field to take a one-stroke lead after Thursday's opening round at the Kuala Lumpur Golf and Country Club. The 23-year-old LPGA Tour rookie dazzled with a 9-under 63, edging South Korea's Ryu Hae-ran by one stroke. Saigo's spectacular round featured 10 birdies, including a streak of 4 consecutive birdies from the 4th hole, with just one bogey marring an otherwise flawless scorecard. China's Liu Ruixin and Taiwan's Su Weiling shared 3rd place after matching rounds of 65, while South Korea's Amy Yang and Japan's Yuka Saso were among 6 players tied for 5th at 6 under. Amateur golfer Mirabel Ting was the best national performer after she fired an impressive 5-under 67 to claim joint 11th position alongside France's Céline Boutier and Thailand's Gino Titikul, the defending champion and last year's runner-up respectively. Football now, the Copa Libertadores. Brazil's Botafogo scored 5 second-half goals in a 5-0 thrashing of Uruguay's Peñarol in their first leg of their semi-final clash on Wednesday. After a goalless first half, Botafogo's Jefferson Savarino got the breakthrough in the 51st minute, latching onto a fine-through ball from Luis Enrique before clipping the ball over keeper Washington Aguirre. Alexander Barbosa doubled their lead 4 minutes later when he scooped the ball home from a corner kick. The hosts then made it 3-0 1 minute before the hour mark, with Savarino netting his second. Enrique added their 4th in the 73rd minute with a delicate left-foot chip over Aguirre, with Igor Jesus putting the icing on the cake 10 minutes before time for a comfortable 5-0 victory. Turning to tennis, the 2024 Vienna Open. Alexander Zverev advanced to the quarterfinals with 8 straight sets defeats of Marcos Giron on Wednesday. The German eased past the American 6-2, 7-5 in their round of 16 clash. Top seed Zverev struck 10 aces and converted all 3 break chances in the 73-minute match for his 61st singles win of the season. The world number 3 will now face Italy's Lorenzo Musetti, who gained a walkover from Gael Monfils. Joining him was Matteo Berrettini. The Italian closed out a thrilling second-round encounter with Frances Tiafoe, thwarting the US Open semi-finalist 6-3, 6-7, 6-3 in 3 hours. Berrettini will face the winner of the match between Russian Karen Khachanov and American Brandon Nakashima for a place in the semi-finals. Turkey retaliates against PKK after deadly terror attacks. The details when we return.
EH958, runway 14 right.
Gentlemen, EH958, cabin crew, be seated for landing. Thank you for choosing Fly FM.
Mat. Kita dah lambat ni, Mat. You need to speak English now. Bro, we're late, bro. It's okay, let's go. It's Ian and Hanif on the Fly Breakfast.
Alah, dah habis. Tak sempat nak tengok.
Drama TV3 Mak? Tengok je lah, tonton.
Telefon nak buat?
Telefon Mak. Mula-mula Mak buka tonton, lepas tu tekan sign up here untuk buat akaun baru. Isi nombor telefon, email dengan password. Masukkan nombor TAC dan siap.
Ya, senang je. Jadi tengok dasar?
Boleh lah. Jadi dah drama Mak tu.
Struggling with low energy or stress levels? Stay tuned as we reveal the secrets to better health and unlocking long-term vitality.
The mind comes first, the intention, and then everything else will fall through.
It's not short, it's very long, and it's not easy as well.
Yeah.
But if you have your why, you'll find your way.
Watch Women Talk every Saturday 5 p.m. only at TV3. Stream now on Tonton.
MHI sepanjang minggu. Analisis Belanjawan 2025, strategi memacu ekonomi rakyat dan negara. Nampak remeh tapi tidur yang cukup penting untuk tubuh kekal sihat. Kenali ikan pemusnah, ancaman kepada habitat dan ekosistem hidupan sungai. Saman malu atau fitnah, fahami undang-undang kes libel di mahkamah. Juga penstrukturan semula hutang peribadi dalam soal wang. MHI Isnin hingga Jumaat di TV3 dan ditonton.
Welcome back. Malaysia has strongly condemned the attack on the headquarters of Turkish aerospace industries, which occurred on Wednesday in Thai in Karamakanzan and resulted in multiple deaths and injuries. Fortunately, no Malaysians were reported to have been affected in the attack. In a statement on Thursday, Wisma Putra said Malaysia expressed its deepest condolences and sympathies to the government of the Republic of Turkey and the families of those who have lost their lives and wishes those injured a speedy recovery. The Embassy of Malaysia in Ankara is closely monitoring the development. Meanwhile, all Malaysians in Turkey have been advised to stay vigilant and follow the latest updates and guidance the local authorities provide. 2 terrorists who attacked Thai facilities were neutralized, while 5 people were killed and 22 were injured. Meanwhile, Turkey said its military has hit outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party (PKK) targets in northern Iraq and Syria on Thursday in apparent retaliation for an attack on an aviation site in Ankara that killed at least 5 people. According to officials, the strikes destroyed at least 32 PKK targets, including military and intelligence facilities, ammunition depots, as well as logistical and energy infrastructure. It also said that many PKK members were killed in the aerial operation. Turkey Defense Minister Yasar Güler, meanwhile, stated that Ankara will pursue PKK members until the last terrorist is eliminated. In the attack on Wednesday, at least 2 people fired guns around the entrance of Turkish aerospace industries, killing 5 people and injuring over 20 civilians. Now, the Zionist regime has continued its relentless attacks on Lebanon, this time killing 3 Lebanese soldiers in the south of the country. According to officials, the soldiers were murdered at about 4:15 a.m. local time as they were evacuating wounded people on the outskirts of southern village of Yatir. The area is a part of the border region pounded by the Zionist regime during its month-long offensive against Hezbollah. So far, there was no immediate comment on the strike from the Zionists, which has previously claimed that it is not operating against the Lebanese army. The Zionist regime has mounted a huge air campaign in Lebanon since last month against what it claimed are Hezbollah targets. To date, at least 2,574 people have been killed and more than 12,000 injured in Israeli attacks on the country since October last year. Over in Gaza, at least 17 Palestinians, including children, were killed in an Israeli strike on a school sheltering displaced families in the Nuseirat refugee camp on Thursday. According to Nuseirat's Al-Auda hospital, among the dead were 7 children as young as 11 months, as well as 3 women. The attack, which took place at about noon during rush hour, also wounded 42 Palestinians, and the victims are currently being treated at the hospital. The Zionist regime, however, has yet to comment on the strike. Israel has carried out several strikes on schools turned shelters in recent months, claiming that it is targeting Hamas hiding out among civilians. However, these strikes often result in the deaths of women and children. These casualties have brought the death toll in Gaza to 42,847 Palestinians, with 100,544 others wounded. Some updates on the 2024 U.S. election. With just 12 days until the polls, 25 million Americans have already voted, with records broken in multiple battleground states. This was partly driven by Republicans embracing early voting at Donald Trump's direction. According to election officials, more than 1.9 million voters have cast early votes in Georgia, either through in-person early voting or mail-in ballots, while more than 1.7 million people have cast early ballots in North Carolina, setting a new record. At an event in Georgia, Trump celebrated the state's record-breaking vote levels, and at a separate rally, he also escalated his personal insults against rival Kamala Harris, saying she was crazy. Harris, on the other hand, denounced Trump as someone who certainly falls into the general definition of fascist and who had spoken approvingly of Hitler several times. The vice president's latest remarks come as part of her campaign's multi-week strategy to appeal to independent voters and moderate Republicans who may be open to supporting the Democratic ticket. Meanwhile, a new poll from the Wall Street Journal, WSJ, revealed that Trump is leading Harris by 2% nationally, with 47% to her 45%. North Korean propaganda leaflets, apparently carried by balloons, were found scattered on the streets of South Korean capital Seoul on Thursday, with some making personal attacks on the country's president and first lady. The leaflets that were found in the vicinity of the presidential office were criticizing South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and First Lady Kim Kyun-hee, accusing them of being hostile towards North Korea. It included graphic messages accusing the Yoon government of failures that had left his people living in despair and describing the first couple as immoral and mentally unstable. The resumption of the campaign by Pyongyang to send balloons to its neighbor comes as tensions spike on the peninsula, with the North accusing South Korea's military of sending drones over Pyongyang to violate its sovereignty. The South Korean government, however, has declined to say if drones were flown towards the North or who may have sent them. Nightline draws to a close this time around. Let's take a look as Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla were treated to a showcase of Samoan traditional culture on their first full day in the Pacific Island nation. With that, I'm Natasha Busst. Thank you for tuning in and stay safe, Malaysia.